Hello learners, you are warmly welcome to today's session of English language. I am by the name Samuel Ejakwa and I will be your tutor for today's session. For today, we are coming to learn something new and it is by the topic morpheme. At the end of my lesson, I'm expecting students to be able to explain the term morphemes, how morphemes are being classified, and explain how each classification means and give some examples under each types of the classification. Having said that, I would like us to look at something called rank scale before we move on to our today's topic. When we say rank scale is a hierarchical ordering of grammatical units. In other words, we can say it's how or the arrangement of grammatical units according to its size. We have two ways of arranging or the arrangement in rank scale, which are the top-down view arrangement and the bottom-up view arrangement. And each of these arrangements have its relationship, which means the first one, the top-down view, its relationship is consists of, while the bottom-up view, its relationship is constituent of. So, as you can see, in a top-down view, sentence consists of clause. Clause consists of phrase. Phrase consists of words. Words consist of morphemes. But if you look at the bottom-up view, morphemes constituent of words. Words constituent of phrase. Phrase constituent of clause. Clause constituent of sentence. In English language, the highest grammatical rank is the sentence, while the lowest grammatical rank is morpheme. Let's take these two examples. The girl school jumped wall over there. It doesn't make sense. The schoolgirl jumped over the wall is correct. Let's look at the second example. Mika bought the owner a drink. It should be the car owner bought me a drink. This means, as we learn in mathematics, when we take counting numbers, when you are asked to count from 1 up to 10, it follows a lay-down procedure. This process is known in English as rank scale. It means how or whenever you construct a sentence, the sentence must follow a lay-down procedure in order to make a meaningful sentence or a meaningful word. So with this, we can start our today's lessons, and the topic is morphemes. So one may ask, what is morphemes? Morpheme is a simply means or simple means a word that cannot be divided anymore without a change in meaning. It means the smallest and it cannot be divided anymore. Let's take the example under it and see. The book is mine. You have 4 morphemes in this example. There is a morpheme because it cannot be divided. Book is one example, is a morpheme, and mine is a morpheme. When you look at this sentence, you can see none of the words in it can be divided into two. Let's take the second one. I am happy. I is a morpheme. Am is a morpheme. Happy is a morpheme. This means we have three morphemes in this sentence. Or example. 3. The man is going. There is a morpheme. Man is a morpheme. Is the morpheme. Go is a morpheme. Then ing is also a morpheme. So in this example, we have 4 morphemes. Let's look at how morphemes are being classified. Under the classification of morphemes, we have 2 classifications of morphemes. We have the free morpheme and bind morphemes. Let's take free morphemes. When we say free morpheme, as the word implies, if something is free, free morpheme is a type of morpheme that can stand on its own. It does not depend on any other words to function. For example, man, happy, farm, move. You can see all these examples have meaning and it stands on its own. So it does not depend on any other to function. Under the types of free morphemes, we have 2 types under free morphemes. We have the content or lexical morpheme and the functional or grammatical morphemes. The content or lexical morpheme simply means words that have meaning by themselves. Words that have meaning by themselves. And these words are dog, honest, good, food, etc. Functional morphemes or grammatical morphemes, they are simple when you are explaining them. When we say something is functional or grammatical, it simply modifies the meaning of a word rather than supplying the root or the base meaning. Some examples of these functional or grammatical morphemes are at, on, in, but, and, to, etc. Let's take the second classification under morpheme, which is bind morpheme. As the word implies, bound. Bound. Bound morpheme is a type of morpheme that attach themselves to the free morphemes in order to make meaning. It means they have to attach themselves with a free morpheme to create or to have a meaning or to create a function. For example, or examples of this words are ears, s, ed, less, as, less, un, etc. Here are some examples of bind morpheme. Dance. When you add r to dance, it becomes dancer. Dancer. In this case, r is a bound morpheme. Let's take another example as teach. When you add re, it becomes teacher. In this case, re is a bound morpheme attached to the free morpheme teach. Sport. When you add IVE, it becomes sportive. In this case, RVE is a bound morpheme attached to the free morpheme sport. Let's look at some types of bound morpheme. There are two types of bound morphemes, and they are inflational morphemes and derivational morphemes. We are going to take each one after the other. Let's take inflational morphemes. Inflational morpheme is a type of morpheme that attach itself to words to make the sentence conform to the rule of grammar. For instance, let's look at some examples under the inflational morphemes that will explain what inflational morpheme means. Let's take first example, matched. When you add es to the word match, it becomes match. When you add ing to match, it becomes matching. Matching. In this case, the ex and the ing are inflational morphemes. They are inflational to the base word or a free morpheme. Let's take the second example, send. When you add s to send, it becomes sends. When you add ing to send, it becomes sending. So as you can see, the s and the ing are inflational to the free morpheme or to the base. Let's take the last one, the derivational morpheme. Derivational as the word derived from or divert. Derived from divert, sorry. This is the process of forming a new word from an existing one by adding a bind morpheme. In other words, derivational morpheme deals with affixes. It means it deals with prefix and suffix. Someone may ask, what is a prefix and suffix? Prefix are words that come before a base, or they are the letters that come before a base, and suffix are the letters that comes after a base. And when these two words or two phrases and prefix and suffix comes together, it changes the base word and it creates a new word. For example, expense. When you add suffix to expense, that IVE, it becomes expensive. When you add prefix to expensive, it becomes inexpensive. Let's take another example. Body. When you add affix, that's prefix, and suffix to body, it will change the base word. Let's take the prefix and the suffix to be MENT and the prefix to be EM. It will change the original word to embodiment. Let's take another example. Exam. When you add prefix and suffix to this word, it will change exam to re-examination, meaning re means prefix and ATION is suffix. So, on this note, we call today's class to an end. But before that, take this as assignment.